Well, Lauren, how do you sort of get the group up after you lose the captain and sort of get things going again?
I think, we're obviously really feeling and we're feeling so devastated for JC. She's just had her surgery as well, and it's a really rough time for our skipper. But the thing about JC and her leadership is she's so selfless, and just being able to turn up, early in the week, and she's all about the team and guiding them through what the next stage is, and it does provide another opportunity for Maddie Kerrick to come into the side as well. So it stings big time, and we're really feeling for her, and I think if anything there's further reason to play the right way this weekend.
She's obviously still going to be around the group, but in terms of on the field and those sort of things, who needs to step up in her place?
Everyone needs to step up across the field, obviously. JC's weapon being intercept marking, and she really structures our backline. Really strong voice and guidance down there. So we've seen Emily Ball continue to come on in leaps and bounds. Tegan Jermack has been a nice little surprise packet so far this season. And then obviously with Kerrick coming in around Foley as well, there's a bit more experience there to help structure the backline without JC.
Is it possible to replace her player for player? And is it, especially more so in the leadership aspect, you've got such a young group, to replace that, do you have to ask more of your young leaders?
I think you ask more of everybody. I don't think you can replace your captain, especially not Janelle Cuthbertson directly, but we are very fortunate in the sense of Maddie Kerrick's been going so well and has been pretty unlucky to be out of the side, so we know she's more than ready to perform tomorrow night.
As well, you saw Freo last week had a heavy loss against the Crows. Obviously you ran the Crows quite close. Does that give you confidence going into this week?
I'm expecting a very hotly contested game here at Alberton on Saturday. I think Fremantle, we know how disappointed they are. They've been really public in how disappointed they were in their game against the Crows, and certainly know they're a better side. So we're expecting a very good outfit in the Dockers, and we've never played them before, but certainly had enough experience myself playing against them over the years, and full respect for the way that footy team goes about things, and certainly expecting a hot contest.
Do you take anything out of the game they played against the Crows? Do you watch it back? Do you have a look at how they went against them?
Part of my job is to watch a lot of footy, mate. So, certainly watch that game. I think you try and get a measure over 2 games of what a team's trying to do, and it's not a lot of data, to be fair. I think they had a really windy game at Windy Hill against Essendon in round 1 and performed quite well. And then, obviously they wouldn't be pleased with how they went about it, how the game panned out against the Crows. So I think if anything we take more of a gauge of how they went against Essendon, and understand that they'll be a very good show on Saturday against us.
Sometimes it's easy to get lost in the nitty-gritty of football, but the girls sort of walk a little bit taller when they get to play on the home of footy, the MCG last week, and they come in this week with a big win as well and a bit more excitement in their shoes.
Our group's always excited to play footy, I'm stoked with the start we've had. Obviously, round 1 we played the showdown, which for me is as close to a final as you can get in round 1. You guys would have been here for that atmosphere. It was incredible for our group, and we've shown some real maturity already in these first 2 weeks, and then to turn that around and play at the G on a Friday night before a men's final is amazing experience for our group. And I think the challenge for us is to continue to show progress regardless of opposition or where we play footy.
Is this the most positive you've felt in a week coming off a loss, off a win? Like, obviously in the past you had the heavy win over the Swans, the first win, but to have such a galvanising win early in the season, is this the most positive you've felt in the group?
It's interesting. I think this year, obviously, I've said publicly, there's a real measure on wins and losses for us, but also, we've got our own internal KPIs that I won't say they matter more than winning, but they are very important, and our ability to show progress within what we know is us building and improving has been vital. And 40-point wins, awesome. Let's bring those on where we can get them. But I think the internal progress and the growth that the group's showing, the maturity, is the most important thing so far.
Talk about leadership and who needs to stand up. Obviously, Kirsty Lamb comes into the club and kicked 2 goals on the weekend as well. What's her leadership and experience done for the group in the opening 2 games?
I think for Lammy, it's it's not an easy thing to move clubs, and particularly after such a long time of playing one brand of footy with the Doggies, and to come into our space and learn new teammates, learn a new process, a new game style. So it was really pleasing to see how well she went at the G on Friday night, and yeah, obviously if you're playing your old side, you want to go pretty well. So really pleased for her, and just continue to see her come on in leaps and bounds and help guide what is a really young midfield at the moment.
For Tika, career high 4 goals for her last week. How much has she improved in this off-season, and how confident is she feeling this week?
Yeah, I think Julia Teakle's progress has been quite linear since she got here. She's just applies herself incredibly well day to day and week to week, and so yeah, I've said a few times now, I think it's just her performance is an indicator of a lot of hard work over 3 years now. So that was pleasing, and there'll be other games where other forwards get on the end of a few and she'll play a role, and the stat line will look very different, but for us internally, she's very consistent in how she goes about it, so it's nice for her to get on the goals and kick forward.
You have an exciting brand to watch this year, like first couple of games, even practically we were talking about, you're a good side to watch. Do you think that sort of emboldens the fan base a little bit and will result in more people coming out to Alberton tomorrow and further into the season as well?
Oh, our people have always been great in supporting us, and I can't wait to see them here at Alberton. I think it's a 4:30 start, 4 o'clock start at Alberton on Saturday. I think, as a coach, I've always been really strong in wanting our group to play a really exciting brand of footy, so I'm pleased to hear that you're enjoying watching us, and our players enjoy playing this style of footy too. And it's not necessarily a heavy stats based game, and we see other teams accumulating a lot of possession. Our ability to win contests so far this year and play pretty direct into our forward line is benefiting us, and I think sometimes that can go underrated, so we've just got to continue to show that brand of footy and progress.
Well, you spoke last year a lot about offence and generating offence and how important that was. Do you feel like keeping the Dogs to not even scoring a goal last week speaks to the focus on the defence side of things this year as well?
Yeah, one thing we're really pleased with, and we've been saying this a little while, is we have been chasing offence the first couple of years in the competition, and this off-season that's just gone has been really heavy on contest, and that supports our defensive structure behind the ball, and so we've seen some benefit of that. And probably the most pleasing thing out of the first 2 weeks for us is, a 40-point win is one thing, but we actually applied the highest pressure factor so far in the competition against the Doggies of the season so far. So to have that stat underneath us and something to chase each game that we play is again really pleasing, and shows another level of maturity and growth for our group.
And just on Gemma Houghton, it's her first time playing her old side this week. I know she's been hanging out to do that over the last couple of years. Have you touched base with her yet, or how do you think she's feeling, ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, I think exciting for Gem. She's obviously playing some pretty good footy as well. But no, I haven't actually talked to her yet. I might have a little chat at Captain's Run tonight and just check in with her. But no, she's gone really well and certainly just very focused on her role within our team right now, and it's benefiting everybody.